Hi everyone, Green Orb here. I'm going to be continuing where I left off yesterday, talking about the basics of golf and golf terminology. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, I've put a link to it in the top right. Today I'm going to be moving on to understanding the basics of golf equipment and the type of shots golfers play with each club. If the terminology around the environment wasn't difficult enough to understand, golf equipment is probably going to muddy the waters even further. I am going to stick to the absolute basics and hopefully make it straightforward enough to follow along with. In terms of a basic list of equipment, you will need a golf ball, or if you're like the rest of us, several golf balls, a set of golf clubs, a bag to carry the clubs and golf balls in, a golf glove, some shoes that give you good grip, golf tees, a pitch mark repairer, a ball marker, and a small towel. That's an incredibly long list of equipment, but I am going to go through each of these individually. In terms of the golf ball, I'm sure we've all seen one before. They're those hard, bouncy balls with a large number of dimples on them. In terms of the regulations, they're at least 4.3 centimeters or 1.68 inches in diameter. And by comparison, a tennis ball is at least 6.54 centimeters in diameter, whilst the regulation soccer ball is at least 68 centimeters in diameter. Golf balls are pretty small. They're also usually white, but they do often come in luminous green, yellow or pink to aid the golfer in finding them. They're constructed of various materials to give them the bounciness, as well as the durability to survive multiple hits. But I will need to do one or more videos just to break down their construction. To hit the golf ball, you get various varieties of golf clubs. Golf clubs have a shaft made either of metal or a composite material like graphite, and have a rubber grip on one end and a club head made of various metals on the other. Depending on the shot and distance you want to hit, and more on this in a moment, you'll choose a particular category of club. From the longest hitting to the shortest, we have the driver, the fairway woods, hybrids and long irons, wedges, and finally the putter. Each of these clubs, except for the driver and putter, will have a number of some variety on them, ranging from a 2 to a 7 in the fairway woods and hybrids, or from a 1 to a 9 in the irons. These numbers basically just make it easy to find the club you're looking for in the bag, although I think it's fair to say every golfer has confused a 6 or 9 iron at least once, and ended up either hitting the ball 50 meters too short or 50 meters too far. Drivers, fairway woods and hybrids all look pretty similar to each other, and I've shown one of each here. The irons also look pretty similar to each other, although you get long irons, mid irons and short irons, and this is based on how far they hit the golf ball and to some extent the length of the shaft. Long irons range in number from a 1 iron to a 5 iron, and I've shown a 5 iron here. After that you get the mid irons, specifically the 6 iron and 7 iron, and the short irons, which are the 8 iron and 9 iron. From irons you move on to wedges, which have a terminology all of their own. The most common names you'll hear for wedges are pitching, gap, sand and lob wedges. These are in order from those that fly the longest distance to those that fly the shortest. Lastly, you get the putter. Putter is designed to roll the ball along the ground, specifically on the green, rather than get the ball airborne like all the other clubs you'll use. I haven't nearly covered everything in terms of the basics of golf clubs. Unfortunately, there's so much to talk about on club and club design that I'll need several videos to cover more than the basics. Moving on to golf bags come in several designs, from ultra lightweight bags with all the clubs held in a single pocket and designed to be carried around the golf course, all the way to extremely heavy bags with dividers for each club, which are designed to sit on a golf cart and be driven around the golf course. Irrespective of the design, a golf bag will always have one or more pockets to hold various things such as golf balls, tees, jerseys and other golf course accessories. Moving on, we come to golf gloves. These are leather, synthetic leather, or gloves made of another synthetic material, which are worn either on the left hand or right hand to improve your grip on the golf club and give your hand some protection from the friction caused by the rubber golf grip. It's not compulsory to wear a golf glove, but it is definitely recommended. When you hit a golf ball, you'll be standing perpendicular to the golf ball and the direction of the hole. If you're a right-handed golfer, so in other words your left arm will be closest to the fairway or the green you're hitting to, you'll typically wear the glove on your left hand. If you're a left-handed golfer, so your right arm is closest to the fairway or green you're hitting to, it'll be on your right hand. This is because the left hand or right hand will be taking the majority of the grip on the golf club, and as a result be taking the brunt of the friction. In terms of golf shoes, you can pretty much wear any shoes to play golf, although a lot of golf courses will enforce that you wear specific golf shoes as part of their course or club etiquette. I'll be doing a video specifically on basic golf etiquette in the near future. But back to shoes. At the very least, you do want to be wearing shoes that have good grip, as swinging a golf club requires a very good grip on the ground. Golf-specific shoes are generally split into two types, those with spikes and those without spikes. They're usually made with relatively rigid leather or synthetic leather uppers to help support the foot during the sideways movement in the golf swing. The spikes are, like spiked athletic or cricket shoes, designed to let you better grip the ground when you're swinging the golf club. These days most spikes are made of plastic, although in the past they used to be made of metal. Spikeless golf shoes are usually similar in design to spiked shoes, but either have small soft rubber spikes on the soles or are designed with a sole pattern that gives you extra grip. Golf tees are small plastic or wooden spikes with a small cup on top, designed to hold the golf ball off the ground a small distance. Tees are used exclusively off the tee box on a hole, and make it easier to hit the golf ball without hitting the ground. The height of the ball off the ground, so the height of the tee out of the ground, is usually dictated by the club you choose. If you're hitting the driver, you want the ball a few centimeters off the ground because of the size of the driver club head, whilst the rest of the clubs in the bag will usually only have the ball raised a fraction of a centimeter off the ground. Pitch mark repairers are small two-pronged forks designed to fix the impact marks golf balls create on greens, which are oddly called pitch marks. These are created when a golf ball hits the green from quite a height or with quite a speed, as greens are usually quite soft relative to the fairway and tee box. This softness actually allows the golf ball to hit the green and stay on it instead of bouncing off, which gives golfers some chance of getting the ball close to the hole from the fairway and then putting it into the hole. When you're putting on the green, you need the green to be very smooth to allow the ball to roll nicely and relatively predictably along a path to the hole. Pitch marks make the greens extremely bumpy, and if they're not fixed by golfers using a pitch mark repairer, it'll take the grass on the green several weeks to heal from that mark. A golf ball marker is also used on the greens and can be any flat object like a coin or a specific round marker. When a golf ball is on a green, a golfer can mark the location of their golf ball relative to the hole, which allows them to pick up the golf ball, clean it off, and align it to the hole for putting. Golfers also often putt in a specific order, starting with the golfer who is furthest from the hole, and moving on to the golfer who's closest to the hole. I will touch on this more in the etiquette video. Sometimes golfers will need to putt through where another golf ball is, so the golfer in front of them will mark their golf ball to let the other golfer putt. The last thing you'll probably need is a small towel. The towel is used to clean the club head of dirt and debris after you've hit the ball off the tee, fairway or out of the rough. This is necessary as any dirt on the club head can change the direction and height of the golf ball when you next hit that club. As you're usually hitting the golf ball off the ground, your clubs will get dirty very quickly. Right, moving on from equipment, we get to the golf shots that we play. And there are a few ways of describing the shots we hit in golf. Sometimes we describe the shots based on where we're coming from. For example, a tee shot is a shot hit out of the tee box, or a shot from the bunker is called a bunker shot, whilst other times we describe where the shot is going. For example, shots going to the green are called approach shots. Sometimes we'll describe the shots using the name of the club. For example, a drive is a shot hit from the tee box using a driver, whilst a putt is a shot hit along the ground using a putter. Occasionally, we'll also describe a shot quite close to the green, using the words chip and a pitch. A pitch is usually a shot hit when you're slightly further from the green than a chip, and where the ball flies more than it rolls. A chip is a ball hit from very close to the green, often right near the edge of it, that rolls more than it flies. If that isn't confusing enough, we also describe shots based on how the ball flies in the air. When you've hit a tee shot, or an approach shot, you'll oftentimes see the golf ball move in the air instead of flying dead straight. The shape of movement that the golf ball makes in the air is described in 5 ways: a straight shot, a fade, a slice, a draw, or a hook. A fade and slice are balls that start straight but move to the right in the air, and the difference between them is how much they move to the right. A fade will move a little from left to right in the air, whilst a slice will move dramatically from left to right in the air. The opposites of a fade and slice are the draw, where the ball starts straight and moves a little to the left in the air, and a hook, where the ball starts straight but moves significantly to the left in the air. Most of us golfers wish we could hit each of these shapes on demand, but the reality is a lot of us just hit and hope the ball flies the way we want it to. Sometimes we also don't hit the ball properly at all, and you may hear reference to a fat shot or a duff. These are basically where you hit too much of the ground behind the ball, either on an approach shot or on a chip and pitch respectively. Sometimes we'll also sky the ball. This is where it hits the top of the driver instead of hitting the club face and shoots straight into the sky. Right, I hope you are still with me. That pretty much covers the very basics of the equipment and the shots golfers will hit, or at least try to hit, on the golf course. Tomorrow's video is going to talk more about scoring in golf, including the very basics of the handicap system, and how that ties back to the information we've already seen on the golf course itself. If you happen to have any questions around the basics of golf equipment and the shots you might be playing, please leave a comment below. As always, thank you for watching.